Welcome to Airwolf 3D video tutorials. My name is Tyler, and today I'm going to show you how to cold cast with your 3D printed parts. Items you're going to need are your 3D printed part to make the mold, mixing cups, some polyester resin, some catalyst for the resin, some metal powder. Here I'm using iron powder, but you can use gold, bronze, or anything else you might have. Some mold release. Here I'm using Pinkysil Silicone. You can use any kind of molding silicone that has a fast curing time. Some mixing sticks, a glue gun, a container to hold your mold, and a nice flat surface. First we will take our container, we'll put it on our flat surface, and then take our glue gun and we'll glue all around the edge so that silicone does not leak out while we pour. We will now take the part, and on the base of the part that will lay flat, we will put a couple drops of glue so that it doesn't move while we're making the mold. Place your part in the center of the container and press down. Now we're going to mix our silicone, and the mix ratio on the Pinkysil is 1:1. Make sure to pour enough silicone to cover your entire mold. First we will add our A mixture, and then our B. Take one of your mixing sticks, or in this case a plastic knife, and mix the mixture very well. You want to see a solid pink color. As you mix, the silicone will begin to set. We'll now take our silicone and pour it into the mold, making sure we do it evenly and slowly. Now that the silicone's hardened, we're going to remove the mold from the container. We now have our finished mold. We'll now take our mold release spray and fill the inside cavity of the mold until it's completely covered. Try to get into all the crevices. You can move it around to make sure you get a nice even coat, and then we want to let it dry. We'll now grab our metal powder. Here I have some iron powder. You can find this on eBay or a lot of specialty stores online. And we're just going to sprinkle a little bit on the inside of the mold to cover it, just enough to give it some, a little bit of a layer of metal on the inside. I just want enough to just give it a thin layer. You can kind of move it around. There's going to be some extras here, so any of the extra metal you can just pour right back into the container or the bag. So now we just have a very thin, even coating of the metal powder on the inside of the mold. We're now going to take the clear polyester resin, the catalyst for the resin, which will harden it, and the metal powder, and we'll mix about a 1:1 ratio. So now take your clear polyester resin, pour it into your other cup. You can use any kind of casting resin. I like the polyester resin. It's very easy to find and it's affordable. Now we're going to want to mix the metal with the resin before we put the catalyst in. This will ensure that we have a proper mixture. Okay, we'll now go ahead and mix the metal powder with the resin. It's going to become quite thick with the metal powder. And we just want to ensure that it's mixed all the way. Make sure you get it off the bottom of the cup. You almost want a thick syrupy texture. So once your mixture is complete, you're going to want to let it sit for a few minutes just to let all the air bubbles rise out of the resin. Now take your catalyst for your resin, which is going to harden the mixture, and we're going to want to drop however many drops you need according to your instructions and the amount of resin being used. In this case, I'm going to do about 10 drops. And again, we're going to want to stir the mixture. And as we do this, you might feel it get a little bit thicker due to the catalyst starting to harden the resin, but you should have plenty of time to work with it. And now we're just about ready to pour the metal resin mixture into the mold. So take your mold, and just like when we poured the silicone, you want to make sure to pour in very even, slow pours. Make sure it fills all the crevices and gets rid of any air bubbles. And there it is. We've poured the mixture into our mold, and now we just wait for the resin to harden, and we'll have our final product. So now it's time for the fun part. The resin's dried inside the mold, and we're going to take it out of the mold. And because we sprayed that mold release in there, it should come out pretty easily. So we do want to be careful not to tear the mold, because we do want to use it again. There's the finished piece. Turned out pretty good. So now we'll take a little bit of iron wool, and we'll buff some areas and try to bring out some of the metal shine a little bit more, and then we'll be good to go. So now we're going to take some iron wool and just go over this and try to scuff it up a little bit just to make it a little bit more shiny. You can also use some liquid rust to rust it or soak it in some salt water, but for now we're just going to get some of this iron powder to come through the model here. This iron wool in particular has some soap mixed in it. It's just from the dollar store. It works just fine. So after a little iron wool and some little polishing, it's going to look just like metal. It's going to feel like metal, and that's cold casting with 3D printing. So again, my name's Tyler. Check back soon for more Airwolf 3D video tutorials. Thank you very much for watching.